Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wa bihi nasta'in wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ahli baytihi tahirin. Respected scholars, elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. First of all, a warm welcome to all of you. You all have come from different parts of the world, and welcome to Hujjat Village, welcome to the WF House, and welcome to this conference. This is your conference. This conference has been organized by the youths, for the youths. Inshallah, the outcome that we look forward to is, inshallah, something that will take us a long way forward, and I will talk about that very shortly. But I must say that the inspiration to, by the way, just for your information, unfortunately, our youths from Pakistan could not come because they could not get their visas. Majority of them, except for yourself, two of you, mashallah. So we're really happy to have you here. And from India as well, I believe a few are here. 4, perfect. From India, 4. So I'm glad that they got their visas. It's been one big challenge. I wish everybody is here. We have 6 regions, and almost we have representation across the board. So it's a fantastic opportunity. So well done, and I commend you all for making an effort to be here. The inspiration actually came when I visited His Eminence Ayatollah Sistani together with Sheikh Murtaza Al-Dina, and we were sitting with Agha. This is just over 2 years ago. And we were discussing issues with him, the challenges that we face in our communities, our society, the challenges with our youths vis-a-vis, obviously, generation gap, the way the world is moving very fast today, the expectations, ideologies, artificial intelligence, you name it, everything is moving very, very fast. And we said, Agha, what do we do? Give us guidance. And I thought his guidance was profound because he spoke from his own experience. He said, look, we have just been successful in defeating the Daesh in Iraq. Otherwise, even Najaf would have been taken. And how are we successful? He said, the primary success of this movement were the youths of Iraq. And then he gave a very interesting example. He said, look, there is diversity out there. There are people with varied views. There were also youths who probably were not even close to the faith. Some of them are far away from the faith. He even went to the extent of saying there were some who are not even praying. But he said we engage them. We engaged them, and he gave a beautiful example in the time of our Imam As-Sadiq, salawatullah salamu alayhi. And he gave the example of Mufaddal bin Umar. Mufaddal bin Umar was Imam's representative in Kufa. Imam was in Medina. Representative was in Kufa. And people were not happy with Mufaddal because he surrounded himself with youths, some of whom were not very close practicing, youths that probably you don't feel are, sort of very close to the faith or very religious, they're all over the place, but they're there. They're activists. They like doing humanitarian work. They like being part of things. So he used to mobilize them, but the elders of the community in Kufa were not comfortable that the Imam's representative was surrounded by people who we would refer to as loose characters, in that context of carefree and, not very forthcoming to religiosity. And they wrote a letter. This Agha is telling us in the hadith. They wrote a letter to the Imam in Medina complaining about his representative, saying that we have a problem. Your representative is surrounding himself with his youths. So Imam alayhi salam in response wrote a letter, sealed it, and sent it. And he said, when you get there, give it to Mufaddal and let him read the content of my letter in front of you, the elders of Kufa. And interesting, so when the letter came from the Imam, you can imagine, they were in the mosque, the elders thought our response has come, Imam is going to condemn Mufaddal, sack him, get another individual to represent him. And as he opened the letter, the Imam alayhi salam mentioned that we are facing a financial crisis within our communities. We need to raise funds urgently and substantial funds. So the moment Mufaddal read the letter, he told the elders, let's mobilize funding for the Imam. And literally he pointed it. Zurara, Muhammad bin Umar, others, the riwayah continues, and they all tried, and that eventually they struggled, and that they told Mufaddal, give us some time. We need to go reflect and see how we can sort this out. So the response was not very proactive. So as they were leaving, Imam said, no, hold on. You stay here, you are my guests, let me feed you, you should have a meal here. In the meantime, he called that group of youths. He told them, we need money. Imam needs the money. There is a crisis in the community, there is a need for resources. And he said, whilst they were having the meal, within that period, the youths came back with 2,000 gold coins, which was a lot at that time. This is where Mufaddal gave the message to the elderly that, look, what you could not achieve, these youths that you undermined, that you felt were moving away from the faith, have come in and are not only preserving the faith, they are doing some great, fantastic work. So the point really that I'm trying to say is that inspired us that we need to organize a youth conference. Why are youths not coming closer to our institutions? They are doing some great work. You all are doing great work. But we as the World Federation, I'm the first to admit that we have not been successful in bringing youths closer to the institution, and the organizers will also tell you just to even get participation, particularly from the West, was challenging, to say the least. And I'm being open about it. So there's work to be done, and this is your opportunity. I am a strong proponent that if you get closer to institutions, I know you serve the Jamaats, the Hadi youths are here, alhamdulillah, doing a great job in Stanmore. Other youths are there from Birmingham, other denominations, and you people, you are doing great work. But this needs to drill upwards to the regional federations and then to the World Federation, and there is capacity to deliver all across the board. Can I just ask you a question? How many of you know about the World Federation? What activities we do? Please raise your hands. Be very honest. More than 50% of what we do you know about it? How many know more than 50% of what we do as services? One. One individual in the entire room knows what World Federation does. This, despite so much brilliant communication that is going out, this in itself is an indication of retrospection for us, the leadership, that we need to address. This is your opportunity. So what I have done is, because the organizers have been very kind to give me 20 minutes, I'm not going to use the whole 20 minutes. I just want to give you a synopsis of why we are here to exist. What does Jamaat mean? What does the regional federation mean? What does the World Federation? What does it mean as far as youths are concerned? For youths have always been on the forefront of community work. We have elders here who all were youths once upon a time, and they have supported the projects that we see today. So I'll just ask the team to share some slides very, very quickly. No more than 5 minutes to explain what we do in a nutshell, really. And the next 2 days, then you will have time to deliberate, and I'm going to make a couple of commitments for you. So I'm sorry if this, I know I struggled to send you the slides, but the PDF is there. Perfect. Would everybody be able to see it? Great. So, okay, I can't read it from here. But anyhow, this is a statement of Mullah. Abdul Hussain Sachedina, who was an editor of one of the papers, Azad, which means independence, in 1932. He wrote this in Africa. Progress without reform and organization is difficult. We need a strong, fortified set of laws which should bring about order and discipline in all our Jamaats, big and small, and should open up the stifle path of progress and advancement. This has got to be our goal, and the easiest way to achieve is to form a central council of the Shia Ishnashri Committee of East Africa. There were many Jamaats in Africa. He proposed that there should be a federation of all the Jamaats. Why? So that there is synchronization of activities and there is more transparency and discipline and order across the board. As a result of which, Africa Federation was born. Yeah. Now let's look at the next slide. 1975, here in London, in Hammersmith, the elders of our community got together after the exodus in Uganda, where we were literally told to pack up overnight in 1972 and to leave Uganda, our elders. And they had to go to different parts of the world, which includes Europe. And because of the exodus, we as a community did not have a structure to support them. They were living in camps that were not acceptable, very, very difficult conditions. Obviously, thanks to the European governments, they were very helpful, and we are always thankful to them. But nevertheless, a camp is a camp. It's a refugee camp. Imagine a refugee camp living in difficult conditions, no taharat, no halal meat. Imagine their life and the difficulties that our community elders faced from Uganda. Community elders got together, and the vision of the World Federation was born, that there is a need of a global institution that would cater for global needs. So when there is such an emergency, there is an institution that can come and take care of you. And this is where the 1976 London Constitutional Conference led to the establishment of this organization, that you will now shape the future. And I invite you to come and help us shape this future. Next slide. These are just sort of glimpses from some of the, this is Marhum Alarak Rahim, profound statement. He gave his statement at the first Constitutional Conference. The founder of the World Federation, Marhum Mullah Azhar Rahmatullah Alayh, same. Just, if you can move to the next slide. And this is an extract from Marhum Hussein Rahim's speech, where he says, our culture has always sprung up from our inherent ambition and desire to be closely associated with our brethren in faith and to share their joys, sorrow, and plights. And it was this instinct which inspired us to be being knitted together wherever we lived in the form of Jamaat, with which is the Ishnashri Khojas have always considered to be the main blood artery of the community. We are one family. Wherever we are, whether in the east or the west, north or the south, this is the blood artery that he talks about. Next slide. Now, this is also an important statement, because I know today many of our youths are working outside of our communities. Great work is being done to the wider Shia community, and this is also part of our ethos. So this is where Marhum Mullah Asghar, in his first inauguration speech, the first ever conference, we are having another conference, inshallah, from Saturday in this building. It's one of the many conferences we have had, but this was the first conference, yeah? History in the making. And today, I genuinely believe with youths, there could be history in the making depending on what you come up with in the next 2 days. Because this is the first global youth conference in the history of the organization. It is not for me to go into details of the various programs that the World Federation should embark upon. The task ahead is a difficult and heavy one. Nobody knew what is the future vision of the World Federation. But he started with the people in the room. Although this World Federation is of Khoja, Shia, Ishnashri Jamaat, services, as our history shows, will not be limited to Khojas. The workers of the World Federation and their office bearers have an unenviable task before them. I pray to Allah that He in His infinite wisdom and mercy may guide the deliberations of this session and bless this, the World Federation of Khoja, Shia, Jamaat, so that we are able in unity and with malice towards none and charity to all to prove ourselves worthy of our aspirations. And this is why the slogan that the World Federation, we exist to serve humanity, to serve the Muslim community, to serve the Shia Ithnashri community, to serve the Khoja Shia Ithnashri community. And the future unfolding of how we move forward, a lot depends on you as well as those who are going to be the future leaders, inshallah. Next slide. So these are just some of the photographs from the previous conferences. Yeah, we can move on. So these are office bearers, and you will see some of that in this building as well in the days to come. Interesting, exciting times. People get together. You know, we sort of agree to disagree. Ultimately, you'll see everybody gets together and we collectively make a democratic decision to move forward. So this is our vision and mission statement for those who are sort of being introduced to World Federation for the first time. Our vision statement is to be a spiritual, vibrant, progressive, and unified global community for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This was agreed at the conference back in 2006. The mission statement is to connect and lead the global membership into a unified community to represent its voice and enable them to achieve a shared vision. Yeah? And some of our core values that we will, you will learn over the days to come. So let's move on. I said I won't take much time. So just to give you a synopsis of how this organization has evolved. 47 years now, 46 years is coming to the 47th year. We're not far from 50 years. So we now have to shape the remaining 50 years. We started with almost nothing, zero. 83,000 pounds in the first term of the World Federation, 1976 to 1979, the first term, only 83,000 pounds this charity started with, yeah? From 17 to 19, 46,700. To date, we have, to date means up to 2020, prior to 2020, the World Federation has spent 200 million pounds of charity and good causes across the world. Thanks to that vision in Hammersmith. How will the remaining 50 years look like? And let me give you more inspiration in the next slide. Coming to United Kingdom, here. This was an article that was recently published by Al-Ayan Institute, one of the local institutes trying to look at all the Muslim charities in United Kingdom. These are the top 10 charities in UK from an income, expenditure and spend perspective. And you will find only 2 Shia organizations here. The rest are all Ahl Sunnah. You will see the World Federation. 2021, the numbers was 13 million. And you will see Al-Ain, which is affiliated to Sayyid Sistani, at 15 million. If you look at the admin costs, it's barely 1% here. And the World Federation is 1%, which means that these 2 Shia charities are the lowest when it comes to expenditure control, but at least within the top 10. I have no doubt, with people in this room, with each of you working with so many different charities doing great work, if we work together, we can even surpass the Aga Khan Foundation at 57 million, even Islamic Relief at 182 million. I have no doubt about that. We have the resources. The question is, how do we articulate the future? This is in your hands. So the next slide, I promise it won't be more than one more slide. Yeah, these are the different countries in which we serve. You can see more than 60 countries in the world. And one way or the other, the World Federation has affected the lives of people across the world. Be it humanitarian, be it educational, be it religious education, be it water relief, be it, any other service that you can think of. Next slide. Now, this is the last slide. The youths of our community have always got involved in various projects from day one, from voluntary services all the way. The 15-year strategic plan that commenced in 2003, there were youths in the group that articulated how the WF needs to be structured. The way we are structured today is thanks to a strategic plan in 2003, thanks to the young people of the community who came forward and gave their talent. Then we had the Project North Star report in 2019. The community accepted some of the findings. They did not accept some. Nevertheless, there were 30 young youths across the world under 30 who came up with that vision, and the community adopted some of the resolutions, and some of them were not accepted, which is fair enough. Now, tomorrow, inshallah, the census is being launched, and there is a team which includes young people that is going to work on the first ever global census of the community across the world. Of course, some regions have done some great work, and we are going to mimic that. And again, your input and your support will be required. Ultimately, the challenge that I leave to you here, inshallah, in the next couple of days, is to start thinking about our 2050 vision, because we are not far to the 75 years of this establishment. How do we move forward? What can we do? The onus, of course, is on the leadership that is going to deliberate over the days to come. But I just want to end with a couple of pledges. Number one is you will have the fullest support from the office bearers of any commitment you come out with, but subject to approval of the EXCO. So you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to come and present your views to the Executive Council. The entire leadership of the world is here from all 6 regions, alhamdulillah. They will be listening to you. You have a slot on Friday morning, and you will come and present your findings in terms of how you want to integrate yourselves with the World Federation and the workings at a global level. Of course, there's a lot of fun. I know there are some activities this evening, and you'll have some sports. Enjoy yourselves, enjoy the food, and enjoy the hospitality. But please try and make sure that, inshallah, with that enjoyment, you also take it seriously and come up with some substantial, tangible outcomes that I'm sure the facilitators have planned to support you, which probably includes setting up a task force from different regions that you come and shadow some of the work that we do, come and present your reports, and please, please, please do come and encourage. And I'm not preconceiving what you want to come. You have complete liberty to come up with any proposal you have. And the Executive Council will listen to you, and they will comment. That is the prerogative. But the new proposed constitution insists, in fact compels, that youths must be represented at a minimal level as councillors. So make sure that when you come, if you want to participate in the deliberations, make sure you support that proposition, or even go further than that if you want to, that there has to be some room for youths to come forward and get enshrined in the Constitution. For the need of having youths and women is very much there, and I hope we will see more of that. So I think with that, I will end here. Enjoy the night, enjoy the evening, interact, know each other. People who come from different parts of the world. We are 6 quite diverse regions. You have the East, you have Pakistan, you have India, you have Australasia, and then you have North America and Canada, and of course Europe. And try and discuss the challenges you face, the opportunities you have, and we are craving to hear the best out of you, inshallah. I wish you all the success. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In Africa, of course. I'm myself from Africa, so I forgot. In Africa, of course, and we have, mashallah, full contingent for Africa as well. So, continent opportunities. Let the youths deliberate, inshallah, in the days to come. We are all there. You will meet all the delegates. I think the way the organization is unfolding is that there will be breakout, there will be lunch and dinner where you will have a chance to interact with councillors from Africa, from India, Pakistan, Europe, Australasia, and North America as well. So take that opportunity and try and, inshallah, know each other and learn from each other. Thank you.